So hello guys, welcome back to the channel Get to Byte once again. Now as I have told you that I will be starting with the application codes also. So now in this video what we are going to do, we are going to interface our W25Q128JV SPI serial flash memory to our STM32 microcontroller and to our AVR8 microcontrollers. Now, so starting with it, first I will just tell you that how this module looks. This module is like very tiny packed. You can easily buy it from Robo website. It comes at an handy cost of 800 and it has 6 pins. VCC CS and the 4 VCC ground and the 4 SPI communication pins which we have this module. Okay, but the IC has much more pins that I will tell you in this overview or in this video. So now starting with it, I will just going to give you telling you about its features, just telling you about what does its features means and about these terms, and then just giving a brief general description. Then I will be telling you about its block diagram on its like pin description first, and its block diagram on how its memory management done on it, how many pages does it have, how many bytes, and all such kind of things. And then we will move to our write protection features and then to our status configuration and integration registers. This is very important part which you should focus when I will tell in this video only, and in the next upcoming videos I am going to tell you and write its application code. First, I will going to write its application code on AVR 8-bit microcontrollers, because these boards are like my testing boards on which all my firmwares or my device drivers are built, and I have tested and tried them many times. So first going to develop my application code on these, then going to import this application code to my STM32 microcontrollers. Okay, so now moving forward, let's begin with our SPI serial flash memory. So starting with the W25Q and its general description, these are the serial communication flash memories on which you can lie or store your data, voice, text, any such kinds of data or bytes into these memories, and these can just work exactly like the RAM, as they can operate at very high frequencies. Like at standard frequencies it can run at 133 megahertz maximum, and when using in dual or quad SPI protocol, then it can even jump to the 532 megahertz. So it's in a very fast fetch and read can be used for as a memory. Okay, and these have like 65536 programmable pages of 256 bytes each. That means it has 256 pages, and each page is of 65536 bytes, and on each byte we can read and write as many times as we want, like at a redundancy of 10,000 times. And now up to 256 bytes can be programmed at a time. These things you will understand when I will tell you make you understand its block diagram of its memory management. Going to its features, it's a feature can run on standard SPI, dual SPI and quad SPI. So the standard SPI is the traditional SPI protocol, which we all know that the SCK, CS pin and the MOSI MISO pins. In the dual SPI, what happens is that now in the dual SPI we have two output pins. Like at a time we can send data from 2 pins, and at a time we can receive data from the 2 pins. That is, as you can see here, now my DI and DO, both of these are my IO0 and IO1, input output 0, input output 1. So at a time I'm sending data from both of these 2 pins. So it's like 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is my one complete byte which I am getting or which I am sending. Okay, so that is at a time 0 and 1, both of them are bits of my byte, like 8-bit byte, and it has 8 byte. One byte has 8 bits. So 2 bits are being sending continuously from 2 pins. Okay, so 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 bits are continuously send and receive. Same way here. And in the quad SPI, as its name is quad, so there are 4. So we are going to send data 4 bits at a time and receive 4 bits at a time. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. all of these 4 pins will be sending my 4 bits and receiving 4 bits at a time. So when we are operating in dual or quad SPI, we can send and receive data at the number of 2 pins in the terms if we are using dual SPI, and 4 pins if we are using in quad SPI. And in the standard SPI, we can only send data from a 1 pin, that is MOSI pin. So all the 8 bits are sent from a 1 single pin. Whereas in dual and SPI, we divide the number of bits between the 2 or the 4 pins. Okay, then the highest programmable serial flash that it can run at single 133 MHz is the maximum frequency, and 266 or 532 MHz at dual and quad SPI, and it has minimum 100K programmable array cycles per sector. That is what I am telling at redundancy of 10,000. Okay, and then more than 10-year retention, that is data on it stays for about 20 years. Okay. Efficient continuously read, you can read continuously with about 8, 16, 32, 64 byte wrap. Byte wrap here means that after reading 8 bit or X byte, you move on to the next line or the next byte, 9th byte, 10th byte, then from 8 to 16, 16 to 24, 24 to 32, and so on. So that is byte wrap in terms of technical. Okay, as far as 8 clocks to address memory and all such things. Then the another important thing is the advanced security features. So on the memory chip only we can lock the certain memory bytes. We can use the OTP, one-time password, like a memory protection, simple password kind of thing, to access this certain kind of memory. That is, we can also lock, that is, no one can read or write on it. We can do a protection with the password on a certain memory section, and we can individually move or block the sector array protection, top, bottom, complement array protection. These features you will be able to understand more in detail when I will tell you about the status registers and its configuration. Okay, and now moving to its pin mapping. So it has 8 pins. The IC, this our W25Q128JV IC has 8 pins. Okay, so depending upon the package which you have, like the module which I am saying to you to buy, is it has the 8 pins. Okay, CS pin chip select, DO, that is the data output. Now one thing to tell you remember is that this memory will be used in slave mode. So slave will output the data, that is slave output. So DO pin is the MISO pin, that is master in slave out. So this pin is the MISO pin. So sometimes you might get confused that DO, DI, which one is MOSI and MISO. So DO is data output, that is MOSI pin, MISO pin, master in slave out. As this is my slave, so this will be my MISO pin. WB is write protection input, I will tell you in a minute. Ground pin, DI, data input. So this is MOSI pin, master out, slave input. So this will be get connected to my MISO pin, and this will be get connected to my MISO pin, and this is to my MOSI pin. And then this is clock, SCK clock, at which my clock will be coming from the master. Hold or reset pin, this WB and hold or reset pin I will just tell you in a minute. And this VCC is normal power supply. Okay. So now coming to the pin descriptions in little bit more detail. Chip select CS pin, it is when chip select pin is at high, that is master has not selected the slave, and all my pins will be at high impedance. And when CS pin is brought low, device will be selected, power consumption will increase to activate levels, and now all of these my serial data output pins and the clock pins will be receiving or transmitting the data as per my configuration. Serial data input output pins, that is DI, DO, and the IOs, IO1, IO2, IO3. As here I have told you that my DO and DI are the IO0 and IO1. These are the normal MOSI and MISO pins. Now if I have selected my quad or dual SPI pins, then depending upon that my IO2 or IO3, that is my these pins C2 and E2, that is hold or WP pins, we can also use them. Okay, so standard SPI uses the unidirectional data input pin to serially write instructions, address or data to the device on the rising edge of the serial clock input pin. Okay, and the standard SPI also uses the unidirectional data output to read data or status from the device on the falling edge of the clock. So in this module we can use standard SPI only because the pinout of IO2 and IO3 is not given out by this module breakout. Okay, so we will going to use standard SPI only, and these are okay. Now comes to the write protect. Now write protect is in a pin that can control, by which we can hardwarely we can control that when to write on the status registers and when not to write on status registers, as this can lock our status registers settings. So when W pin is high, status register is unlocked and can be written. But when W pin is set as low, then status register is locked and it cannot be written. So on this module, by default W pin is set as high only, so that we can easily write to our status registers and it is not locked by hardware. And if we are operating on if we are using the standard SPI or the quad or the dual SPI, then write protect pin will become this IO2 and it will be used as a proper quad SPI input output pin like a MUSI MISO. Okay, same way the hold pin is there, which is used for getting for pausing our ongoing operation by the hardware control. But by default this module also does not give pinout of the hold pin, so it is set as low only. Okay, sorry, set as high. Okay, serial clock pin, as we all know, serial clock pin is the normal SPI clock pin, and the reset pin is also there. Okay, so now the remaining things about the function description and the block diagram and main thing about the status register and all those things, that I will be followed in the next upcoming video. So just stay tuned. Next video after this only will be very interesting and we will be getting to know many great things.